We are facing an increasing crisis where the federal judiciary at the district court level has been exercising powers that normally should be exercised by the executive branch. I've been talking about this almost since the start of the Trump administration 2.0. The Democrats organized a blitzkrieg of lawsuits against the administration intended to disrupt and to freeze the executive branch. And unfortunately, to a certain degree, it has been working because district court judges have been stepping out of their separation of powers lane. We had a case involving the restoration of an officer to the administration who Donald Trump fired. He's now finally gone, but only after he was put back in place by a district court judge. We had a district court judge at 1 a.m. on a Saturday morning rule that Treasury officials could not have access to Treasury systems for payments, literally decapitating the Treasury Department. It was walked back by another judge, but it happened. We had district courts rule that the people auditing the systems from Doge could not have access to them. And just a couple of days ago, we had a district court judge who ordered that planes in flight carrying designated members of terrorist organizations being flown out of the country pursuant to the presidential powers had to turn around mid-flight, not even knowing whether they had the fuel to do so. This has given rise to an uprising and calls for impeachment of various district court judges. I haven't advocated that, but today Chief Justice Roberts issued a statement speaking out against the impeachment proceedings and talking about letting the normal appellate process run. The problem is the normal appellate process has not been running. It has not been working. The district court judges have been deliberately framing their relief which will not ultimately hold up on appellate review, as temporary restraining orders so that there's difficulty of review. Twice the government went to the Supreme Court asking them to step in and stop this. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court refused to do so. Justice Alito issued a statement on behalf of the four conservatives in one of the cases where the district court judge had ordered $2 billion in government contracts to be paid within 36 hours, not even knowing what the contracts were. And despite the government's statement, they wanted to review them to make sure there wasn't fraud there. And the court, the three liberals plus Chief Justice Roberts plus Justice Barrett refused to hear the case. And Justices Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh issued a powerful statement that the court has not met its obligation, meaning the Supreme Court has not met its obligation to make sure that the district courts stay within their constitutional bounds. So it's not just Republicans who want impeachment claiming it. It's not just people upset with the decisions. So Chief Justice Roberts, if you want the normal appellate process to work, you have to make it work. You have to do your job. The Supreme Court needs to do its job, and the appeals courts need to do their jobs. Yes, ideally, we wouldn't even be talking about impeachment. It's a measure of last resort, born of frustration that the appellate process has not been working. So don't lecture to the public who's concerned. You need to lecture and you need to take action as the Supreme Court to rein in the district courts who have stepped out of their separation of powers boundaries and who have created this crisis.